All right, I don't know about you, but I wasn't sure that this was going to come out. When we got the trailer with Clemente, I thought, okay, it was light, but it was centered around a giant legend that we really want. Now, most of them have been centered around a giant legend reveal recently, too, so that it didn't check out, right? But I know COVID year, everything kind of smushed together. I just didn't think we were going to get one. And then on opening day eve, they drop a little bitty for us. They say, here, how's this? Let's take a look. So we got, some current guys, Harper and DeGrom, Mookie, our guys, okay, Max, okay, cool, standard, but it's called the Legends Are Here, so okay, we're going to Hank off rip. And rest in peace, Hammer and Hank. What an absolute legend in every sense of the word. Just the consummate uber professional in the face of everything he dealt with. Just class personified. Brilliant. Perfect here. As far as the tip-top legends, they are 2 for 2 with 2 mega grand slams in the same inning. They've gone Fernando Tatis on this with Clemente and Aaron. Like, this is, it's unbelievable. Not only their impact in what they can be in the game, they can both be great players, but their impact as people, bringing these guys into the game, helping educate younger folks on them because people will, want to look them up. Not everybody, I understand that. I know not everyone's a huge like baseball research nerd like me, but there's definitely mini me's out there, younger versions that see baseball through the same lens that a lot of my viewers on Twitch and on YouTube do, and they're going to want to look up the legends of Clemente and Aaron and learn more about them. So this was amazing. This has been kind of my gut call the last few years. I don't know if his passing away pushed it any one way or another. He'd have still been one of my top calls. It was just one of those ones that felt right. Musial was one like that too. And I'm not even saying that to bring up like, oh, I got this one right. It was just like, as we were getting these legends that were coming out and getting the premier Yankees and Ty Cobb and Honus Wagner, it's like, and then Musial came. I was like, Hank's coming. Like, he has to be, because he doesn't have that like Barry Bonds air of like never going to be in games. It had to happen. It's here now. I'm excited. So we continue on, and then they just go back to back. Now, here's the thing. They started with the knockout punch, then they hit you with a hot jab, but those jabs, they're going to get you. Because this is a jab. This is Fernando Valenzuela. This is not a mega legend that's going to have everyone losing their minds. A lot of you probably didn't even know who he is, and that's okay. I don't say that condescendingly or to patronize y'all. But if you aren't of a certain age, then you don't know, premier 1980s Dodgers lefties. But he might be the best Mexican-born player ever. He had really interesting mechanics. He'd look up to the sky. He was Rookie of the Year, Cy Young combo his very first season. Just an absolute legend. Again, I know I'm kind of using that word, and that's what they're called in the game, but I'm using it. They use it for anybody who's retired, who's in the game, even if they don't have legendary status. He has legendary status for some of the stuff that he did. Fernando Valenzuela here, following Hammer and Hank. It's hard to follow Hammer and Hank, but this is a really fun card, or fun player to bring in that I think can have some really interesting and unique cards. Then we got Babe still. Wait, was that a Cougs? I don't know if they're doing the... Okay, so that was either Babe Ruth or, and I think this is probably more likely, them saying that they're going to do the content creator face scans again. Remember, they did that a couple years ago. I was lucky enough to be included in that. You put in my name, you get my dopey face. Put in Coog's name, you get his. So they're showing that that's still in there. Because some will say that that's Babe Ruth, but I'm fairly certain it's my thing. Trevor Hoffman, Raleigh Fingers, that uniform is pimp. Tony Gwynn in the cut. Chipsky's not going anywhere. Mo, Poppy. You saw Gary Sanchez back there. By the way, I was creeping. I was looking at every little thing. Like, are they going to put some sneak catcher back there or something? You got Nolan in the cut over here. You got Mike Schmidt laying out. Anybody back there? No, that's Lindor. Okay. And then that's just Rhys Hoskins. I thought maybe that was somebody special. You got Pete Alonso running. Okay, Jackie's still in the game. Obviously, we knew that. There he is, Roberto. I'm going to have a lot more on Roberto Clemente very soon. I want to do a whole kind of breakdown of some of the great stuff, not only on the field, but off the field. Roberto Clemente, what an absolute G. He's going to be fun as hell. Oh my God. Now these, by the way, I'm not pretending that I'm seeing this for the first time. I've already seen this, but the hype that this put in to me, because I mean, I basically have like different ranking lists of guys I want to see in the game. I have my overall legend list. These are the top guys. These are the ones that, everyone kind of puts on their list. It's Bonds, Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, guys like that. Pedro's my number one. But then you start getting into like recent retirees, and well, now that Curtis Granderson's retired, he's at the top, untouchable. But Prince Fielder, you don't go too far down the list. Maybe like Carlos Beltran, Adrian Beltre, Ichiro, and then maybe Fielder 4. Like, I'm so excited that he's back, and maybe I should have him higher. He was the one card type I never had a problem with. Doesn't matter which one he had. And the weirdest thing was, the most fun thing too, because I'm a Tigers fan, I was best with his Tigers card, which I believe was a high gold. All the other ones were diamonds, and I did well with those too. But the one that just off the charts hit like 440 for me was the Tigers gold. So they've got, some card diversity, at least for teams with him. It's all usually the same card, a big power beast with good contact, with little tweaks here and there. But they can go Brewers, they go Tigers. Where else? He played for the Rangers, but am I missing a team that he was really good with? I have to look it up. I can't just leave that for the comments to roast me if I'm missing somebody that Prince Fielder dominated with. No. Okay, it was just Milwaukee, Detroit, and Texas, and he really wasn't that great in Texas. Maybe there's like a silver or a gold card there. There's and then there's obviously the mega diamonds with Milwaukee, a diamond or a gold with Detroit, depending on how you go. Okay, just making sure that I wasn't driving myself nuts there. Continuing on. Again, I was looking. Okay, that's Wilson Contreras. Okay, just making sure. I wonder if that was somebody on the bump there. That's Marcelo Ozuna and Mike Piazza. No big deal. Jeff McNeil. That was number 5 sliding in. I don't know who that was, but I don't think it was a legend. Nolan Ryan again. Greg Maddux still in the game. Hammer and Hank again. Robin Yount. Now, little sidebar here. I can't pretend that I like mega rooted for them growing up, but I was always aware of the Brewers and Robin Yount and Paul Molitor. Paul Molitor, I was kind of, maybe y'all had this, or maybe you're not as narcissistic and arrogant as I am, but I had interest in any players named Paul. So that's how I cared about Paul Molitor. He was on the Brewers, Twins, Blue Jays. He was always in the mix in the playoffs too. So that's how I cared about him. The way I always knew Robin Yount though was my dad worked with this guy who he refused to believe people's names if it didn't kind of mesh with his worldview. So they had a fantasy league. The first fantasy league I was in, my dad started at his work. It was like half his colleagues. My dad, my mom was actually in it. She was awesome. She won 3 titles. I eventually got in it. We started bringing people in from out of the workplace, but it mostly started with their workplace. And there's this guy who was there. I think he was in the league one year. I was never in it with him. But they'd always be talking about baseball and everything. And Robin didn't really mesh with him as a ball player's name. So he called him Robert Yount. Robin. No, Robert. Robert Yount. Wayne Boggs, because Wade, that's not really a name. That's something that you do as you slowly get into a pool. And Carl Ripken. I mean, because you just forgot the R, right? That's not Cal. That's not a name. It's Carl. So that's how I've always just Yount been front and center in my mind forever. When my dad told me that story, I was doubled over laughing at why does this guy just not accept people's names? Very funny. So Robert Yount. But one thing about him is I feel like his card's always underwhelmed. And he was a cool player, man. He went from short to center. So, stayed up the middle, 2 premium positions. He was a G at both. I believe he won an MVP. I just want a Robert Yount. Now I'm calling him that accidentally. I want a Robin Yount card to just be awesome. Can we get that? Maybe this year. But there he is. You got Trevor Hoffman. We already saw there's Fernando again. There's Junior just being a monster. Hank, Clemente. And there it is. Okay, great. But if you're a veteran to these trailers, you know something's coming. And you know it's going to be something big. Now, the thing that's blowing my mind here is they've already done Hank and Clemente. Like, those are mega. Like, those are top of the scale, y'all. Like, Hank is on a par with anybody. Mantle, Babe, Mo, whoever you want to put out there. Like, A-Rod, I think, he would draw a lot. So what I'm thinking at this point, I'm like, Jeter. It's going to be Jeter. First off, there's a lot of Yankees. But listen, that's not like Yankee bias. They have a unbelievably storied career with a lot of amazingly legendary players. So, like, yeah, there's like bias toward they get more love because they have more to a deeper pool to draw from. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I'm thinking Jeter, Randy, or A-Rod. Randy Johnson. And I'm hoping against hope, that'd be my number one guy, which is Pedro Martinez. As soon as I saw the red pinstripe, I screamed out loud. As soon as I saw it, I knew it. I knew it was Pedro, and I lost it. Just here in my office by myself, just went, oh my God! And I was blown away. So it was one of those four to me, though. It had to be Jeets, A-Rod, Randy, Pedro. To me, like, I don't know. I mean, it could have been somebody. It could have been Joe DiMaggio. It could have been. I'm trying to think who else would close a trailer, though. It could have been a quick return for Ichiro. I think that'd be a trailer closer. He's very well regarded. Who else could close a trailer that we don't have? Besides Barry Bonds. I know that. He would close a trailer too, but he's so nebulous. The idea of, like, getting him. He doesn't. Now, Roger Clemens would also be a trailer closer, but he doesn't have quite the same. He's not like Bonds where he's like, I'm out of the Players Union, GFY, but he is kind of like, he's got his whole PED thing, and he is kind of, excommunicated from the baseball community to a degree. Like, he still shows up at, like, Texas alumni games and things like that. Like, he's not hidden, but I don't know if he's going to be in the game. So he's one that, of course, would be there, but is he likely? So who else? Who else is a trailer closer? Because I had it down to those four, and I would have been bonkers for any one of them. But the fact that it was my number one dude, number 45, Pedro Martinez. Oh, guys, I'm so excited. I think they're bringing pitching back into the game, man. They really are. With Pinpoint, this PAR system that kind of shows the viability of meter to still be there, and understanding that they want inputs to matter more, so that when you put a good input on the pitch, it's going to go in a good spot. Now, by the way, I want to be clear. Perfect inputs on a pitch do not guarantee a perfect result. The hitter can still always win because they can still hit the ball. They can hit a perfect pitch. A perfect pitch only means you executed it insofar as what you wanted to do. If they're sitting on it, it's no longer a perfect pitch. If they can get their bat to it and put a 100-mile-an-hour exit velo on it, it's no longer a perfect pitch. So there's always like a limit on how perfect you can be. But this year it felt completely random. It was really, 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 really difficult to pitch consistently. I feel like we're going to get some of that back this year with Pedro front and center. I will tell you this, if there is a viable way to get a Pedro on night one, and I say viable, so that doesn't mean buying the entire collection with the credit card, because we put some bucks in on night one, but we're not putting that kind of bucks, those kind of bucks in. We will do our best to get Pedro on night one, whatever. If there's like an 88 version that's collect the Red Sox or something, so we got to get Chris Sale, and I guess what Xander would be he might be a diamond. He's actually probably fringe. So that's it. They actually wouldn't be that tough to get. So I don't know if they would have that high of a team collection card. Maybe. Anyway, I'm derailing. I'm excited by this. Great new legends that we've got. We got another one coming tomorrow, if you're watching this on Wednesday when I put it out, the 31st, on the opening day feature premiere. At least I'm guessing. I don't know why they wouldn't do one. So we got another one in the works. Plenty more coming. A lot of good stuff coming from them. I'm so excited. We got opening day coming up. We're 2 weeks away from the game. 2 weeks and a couple days. This is the 16th. It's going to fly, though. It's going to be ready. Baseball is back. Get ready, folks. Let's go. Thank you so much for watching.